Hey, I got a Scout 60. I'm gonna be riding around a little bit. I'm in Daytona. Indian loaned me the bike. I'm here with AJ again. He's loaned me a Scout 60 this year, which is similar to a regular Scout. Thanks, AJ.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What is the displacement difference between this and a regular Scout?
Yeah, so they're both based on the same chassis. Scout 60s are entry-level bikes, so a little bit more approachable for a lot of newer riders. So this is a 999cc, 60 cubic inch, versus Scout that's 1133cc or 69 cubic inch.
What's the difference in the engine?
Big difference is going to be smaller bore.
Smaller bore on this
So
one?
same stroke, smaller bore to get it to 999.
Same kind of heads, basically?
Correct. Yeah, it's essentially a lot of the same components.
Did it reduce power much, or how did that work?
Yeah, so it's still a pretty powerful engine, really approachable, so that's how we describe it to people. Is if you want it to go fast, it can. If you want to just kind of cruise around, it's really nice in the low RPM range. So this one's got 78 horsepower. The Scout's got 22 more at 100 horsepower.
22 more, that's a good bit.
Yeah.
But you know, I rode them. They don't feel all that much different.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, especially if you're just kind of cruising around at the lower ends. Where you start to see the big power differences is as you get up into the RPM range.
I don't rev up, I just cruise.
Keeping it nice and easy?
Yeah, well, except for the burnouts.
Yeah. You still got most of the tread.
I noticed this one has 5 gears, the regular Scout has 6. How did they work that?
Yeah, so the transmission is going to be very similar to the Scout. The difference is actually you don't have the 5th gear of Scout. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6. So you still get a nice overdrive gear, you're just missing that.
So they just
gear.
pluck 5th out of there?
Essentially, yeah.
The ratios seem to blend nicely. Like when you go from 4th to high gear, it's not like a big gap or anything. It feels pretty good. Did they change the final drive at all, or is it the same final drive like the belt pulley size?
Yeah, same final drive as the Scout.
This one feels lower to me. Maybe I've grown, but is it? That's not likely.
Oh, sorry, you're wearing your high heels today?
Maybe that's
I
it.
was saying, no, this will actually be the same chassis as Scout and the same seat height.
Same seat and everything?
Yeah, the other difference is that this will be solo seat, and Scout will have a passenger setup.
Oh, you can get a double seat.
You'll get the passenger pillion and the passenger pegs.
What's the price difference between this and a similarly equipped Scout?
Sure. So a Scout 60 starts in the U.S. at $8,999.
$8,999.
And the Scout will jump you up $2,500 more to $11,499. A couple other differences: you get a cartridge fork front suspension on the Scout, whereas this is just a conventional. You're going to get the passenger accommodations on the Scout. You're going to get Pirellis versus the Kenda, so just a little bit more performance tire on the Scout. And you're going to get more chrome on a Scout versus this has more black.
Yeah, I kind of like actually the black.
Yeah,
it looks cool.
A lot of people do. Yeah, it's got. You've still got a lot of chrome, especially on the obviously the exhaust is a lot of chrome, but the engine covers, for example, are all matte black.
Yeah.
Black bars. So
yeah, I like all this blacked out look. It looks cool. Thanks, AJ. It's been fun talking to you about this
absolutely.
thing.
Good to have you back here again. Did you do lunch yet?
Well, yeah, I already did lunch.
Really? I thought we were gonna eat together.
Well, they had a special at McDonald's. It was 2 of the sausage breakfasts for $4.
And you ate both, I'm guessing.
Well, I was hungry, AJ, you know? That's low beam on the Scout 60. Let me see if I can get high beam. Where is it? It's over here. And that's high beam on the Scout 60. It's got the same headlight as the other Scout I drove, but let me find the starter. Maybe that'll... It's got the same headlight, but it doesn't seem to be adjusted right. The low beam is real low. You can't go very fast. It's only like 40 feet ahead of you, maybe 50 feet. The high beam isn't too bad, but I think it could be a little higher. It's the exact same headlight as the other Scout, which I like that headlight, so I think this one just needs adjusting. I think this is how you adjust the headlight. You just loosen that nut and pivot the whole headlight up. You know, you don't get a headlight test on a lot of these other things, and I think really you should give me a little credit for going the extra mile here and having to come out at night, I could be in bed. This bike sits very low. It doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of suspension travel. That shock, you know, it's got a leverage to it because the swing arm and the angle and all, but it's sure not much motion. The shocks are adjustable for preload. You can loosen these two rings and crank it up or down. Looks like you got about 3/4 of an inch of spring adjustment. The front's low too. It's got very short travel. You'll have no trouble reaching on this bike. One-piece cast wheels, very nice. You can have tubeless tires, so that's great for running around. Single disc brake works pretty good. It's a nice big disc. Radiator in between the frame rails. Rear master cylinder with the pedal and the master cylinder all built in. Very tidy. These pegs will be a little low for you. The headlight, the handlebars, the triple clamps. Everything is blacked out, gloss black. There's no chrome up here. There's chrome on the fork sliders and on the blinkers, but it's actually looks pretty tasteful. I don't like a lot of chrome. Front headlight is a halogen. Standard bulb, you can get these at any auto store. And you've also got regular incandescent blinkers on both sides. The harness has that nice woven jacket instead of just like a hard plastic that if it's like a tube, it usually cracks after a while, but this is like a braided thing. It's nice stuff. I like it. I'm not sure I like the little blue tape to cap the end of it off. On the left bar, you've got your high beam, low beam, turn signals, horn, and on the front, there's a little trigger to toggle through your pages on your speedometer. Over here on the right bar, you got the same thing as always. Kill switch. Engine start looks like a little Grateful Dead head. Back has an LED tail light and regular incandescent bulbs in the blinkers. Unlike the larger Indians, this has a key still instead of the electronic fob, which, you know, I'm kind of a Luddite. I like a key I can just put in. I can go get another key made. I don't have to take it to be programmed or anything like that. Got a long forward mount foot peg, which takes some getting used to because you want to put your feet right about here, but the pegs are up here. The pegs are pretty low, so if you hang your heels down, when you go around a corner, your heels might hit the ground. But I really haven't been dragging it because I don't race these bikes around. I don't want to wreck the guys' new bikes. The Indian gauge has got a nice analog speedometer, which I like. And in here, there's different pages you can switch. And it goes from RPM to engine temperature to voltage, different things. And there's some little tiny instrument, like idiot lights along in here, which I can't even hardly see. And if I get really close, it's like, I don't know, oil, water temperature, neutral. Seat just kind of pops off. It's got like a dimple there, and then it slides off. The back of the seat slides into this thing, and then it just pops into this. Underneath the seat, you'll find your fuse box, your starter relay. The battery is under all this. The battery's way down in there. I can just see the positive terminal. It actually gives you little instructions on how to move that. You get that out of the way, and then the battery will theoretically come up. The fill for the coolant overflow bottle is right here under the seat next to the battery start relay. You got to kind of move that and take the top off and add coolant. And this is the little window that you would see the coolant level when you're adding coolant. It could be a little clear, but it looks like it's down right about here. The Scout 60s has a cable operated clutch that goes from the left handlebar. The cable runs down under the frame to the right side of the engine and operates the clutch. You'll want to make sure this little rubber boot stays good, or you might get water down in the cable. Your oil fill is here right by the clutch pivot, which is a good thing because when you spill oil, you'll also lube your clutch pivot. Oil filter's in the front, directly opposite the horn. Underneath the bike, it's real easy to get to. It's a little, regular little spin-on metal filter, which are great. I love those things. And this is a vertically split crankcase, meaning it comes apart in a left and a right side instead of a top and a bottom. Fairly large diameter fan at the bottom of the radiator down by the engine crankcases. It's I don't know, it looks like 7-8 inches across, which usually these motorcycle fans are pretty small, so that's a nice size fan. That might be the oil pressure sender. There on the other side you can see the oxygen sensor, and it's not too far from where it comes out the head, about 6-8 inches from the exhaust port. This on the back of the transmission, it's probably either the gear indicator or speedometer. Over on the right side behind the faux air cleaner is the thermostat housing. I haven't found an air cleaner, but I'm guessing it's up under the gas tank somewhere because I don't see it down low anywhere under these covers. Scrambling the Scout a little bit. It's not bad in the dirt, but the foot pegs are so low and it hits the ruts when you're going through a lot of soft sand and deep ruts. I picked up this little accessory card. It's got all the stuff. On the back they have the various statistics of each of the bike. Strangely enough, the bobber actually weighs more than the non-bobber, which, let me get in focus here. Look at all the stuff on this bike that's missing on this bike. And this bike weighs 533 versus 528. This is the Scout 60 when I'm riding, and I like it. Yes, an ABS across the board seems to add $500. So personally, I wouldn't buy ABS, but you might like it. They have a loud muffler system, which I don't need. Saddlebags are definitely a good idea. Get those if you can afford it. A bigger seat. I'm okay with the seat, but it might be nice to have a little bit bigger seat, but I'm not that big. If you're a big guy, you'll want this bigger seat. These floorboards are a good option because your heels will hit the ground when you go around a corner. But if you have the floorboards, the floorboard will hit and kind of pivot. The Scout 60's a little bit slower, but not much slower. It's a little bit lighter, but not much lighter. It's a little bit less money, but not much less money. I tell you, I like it. I'd have some saddlebags because there's nowhere to carry anything, or maybe put a dual seat with a rack, but otherwise we're good to go. This thing's all right.